Hi, this is Maxine Henry from Maxine the Maximizer, and welcome to what I call Clutter Talk. And this is where I talk about what is cluttering your life and what are you going to do about it. Over the last few days, I said I would talk about how I have clutter, and it's about what is stopping you from getting your home and your life organized. So, we were supposed to do this webinar, and for some reason we have some technical differences. So I'm going to give you maybe talk for about half an hour about your clutter, what is making you have clutter, and what can you do about it. So what is clutter? Clutter is any and everything that comes into your space. It can be clothes, it can be books, it can be papers, newspaper. It can be too much stuff in your kitchen, pots, pans, plates, containers. It can be stuff in your bedroom, your clothes, your linens, everything. But what causes your clutter? And that is a question you have to ask yourself. Why do I have clutter? What is my clutter made up of? Some of you don't call it clutter, you call it stuff. So, what is your stuff and how did it get to where it is now? What is really happening in your life and in your space? I always say clutter come into your home quite unknown. Why unknown? The reason why is that you brought it in without being aware of you bringing it in. So, really and truly, your clutter starts and stop with you. You actually went out and got the stuff and brought it in. Whether you bought it or it was given to you, you bring it into your home. How did it become clutter? The reason why it became clutter was because you brought it in and you just put it down. You know when you walk in your front door and you just kick your shoes off instead of taking your shoes off and placing it in the right space? Clutter is like that. You bring it in and you just throw it down any and everywhere. And so it doesn't have a home. And what happens? It builds and it builds and it builds. And before you know it, it has gotten out of control. You walk into your dining room and there is piles and piles of paper and there is bags and bags of stuff sitting on the floor. It has become a space where everything gets thrown in. It's not put in, but it's thrown in. And when stuff is thrown together, then there is no order, right? So clutter comes into your home quite unknown, but you brought it in. So, how does that make you feel? Well, you know how it makes you feel. You feel overwhelmed, you feel challenged, your place feel overcrowded, and as a result of that, the energy in your home changes. Yes, it changes. No longer is it positive. No longer does it feel like your home. It becomes a space that has no personality because all the clutter that is in it has taken over your space. Now that clutter is in control and you have lost control of your space. So you go, I can't see anything, I can't feel anything, and you become lost amongst all the stuff. Because every time when you walk into your space and you see it, your head hurts and it becomes a challenge because you cannot think. You cannot do the things that you want to do. You cannot enjoy your space anymore. And guess what? You checked out and the clutter has checked in because it is now living and enjoying your space. And to be honest with you, your clutter is not going anywhere. It is loving its environment because your clutter plays this kind of game. Touch me if you can. Let's go play hide and seek. And the reason why I say play hide and seek because you come in and you say, I know I bought that stuff and I know it is somewhere here. Yes, it is there and it is looking at you. The problem is you cannot find it. So you have actually checked out of your space and your clutter has checked in and it has taken over not only your physical space, but now it becomes mentally and emotionally draining. And we're not talking about the financial aspect of it. You're now mentally and emotionally drained. So you go, what can you do? Can you do anything? Yes, you can do something. And I want you to do something about it. What is it going to take for you to get something done? But before we get into that part of it, we have to understand why you have so much stuff in your space that has taken over your space. What is really happening in your life? And how all this stuff is affecting everything in your life, your relationship. So I want you to stop for a moment and think about what is really cluttering your life and why you are having this kind of relationship with the stuff in your space. My next question to you, are you in love with your space? And do you feel loved by your space? Because if you're in love with your space, I don't think you're feeling the love. I don't think you're getting the love. I don't think you're giving the love. Because a cluttered space doesn't give you that kind of love that you desire or you want. So if you're not feeling the love, it's time to get rid of that lover. And if you're not in love with your clutter, it's time to kick that clutter to the curb. Yeah, you got to kick it to the curb because it's not adding any value to your life. It's not adding any value to your relationship. So you have to kick it to the curb. You know, when we fall in love with somebody, we want to do everything for them. We want them to love us. We want to feel loved. And we want to give them love. So I go, if you love your house and if you're in love with your house, then it's time to show your home, because there's a difference between a house and a home. It's time to take that house and give it some love so that it can feel like your home. So I ask you the question one more time. What is cluttering your life? What is really cluttering your life? Because the clutter in your space is a symptom of something else. And you have to realize what that is. And in order for us to go forward and take back control and fall in love again, we have to find out what the root of the problem is. And once you've dealt with that, then you're going to get the opportunity to grow, to believe, to empower yourself. And you are going to feel like you can change. You are going to be your own change. And that change starts with you. How are you going to do it? What is cluttering your life? And so I want you to write it down. And the reason why I want you to write it down, because I want you to read it back to yourself. And once you've read it back to yourself, you will get into that space where you know you need to make the change. Because the change is about you. The change is not about me. The change is about you. And once you're ready for change, nothing will stop you. Nothing. All that clutter, before you know it, it's out the door. And you are going to keep the things that means a lot to you, the things that you are in love with. And once you surround yourself with the stuff that you're in love with, you will feel the love. So, what steps are you going to take to make a change? I know it's easy for me to say, get organized. Nobody likes the word organized anyhow because it tells you you have to bring order to your life. It's like when somebody says, get organized, everything in you shuts down. So I don't like to use the word get organized. I like to say, let us remove the clutter in your space. Let us remove or release the clutter in your life. It means we're taking it away. And it's going to bring in change. The change movement in your home. Now you say, oh, Maxine, it is so much, it's overwhelming. I don't know where to start or what to do. Well, you got to start with you. You have to want the change. And once you have accept where you're at, because you have to accept that. I always say you have to assess your behavior. So you have to assess your behavior. How are you contributing to the clutter in your life? What are the things that you are doing that is creating the situation in your life? Because we are always doing something. We may point our finger at someone else, but let's face it, if I point my finger at you, then these 1, 2, 3 and this thumb is pointing back at me and saying, I am guilty too. So what is your contribution in all of this situation? And how are you going to change your behavior? Because it starts with you. Your clutter is about you. And you have to be that change agent. What are you doing? We always blame other people because it's one of the greatest things to do. I cannot blame anyone for my failures. The only person I can talk to is me. I have that control, and it's what I give out, that's what I will receive. So it's the same thing with you and your space and your clutter. It's what you give out, it is what you will receive. So, what are you going to do? Now that you've identified that you are part of the problem and that you are part of the solution, what are you going to do? So, did you write all of that down? So, now I want you to think about the picture. What kind of picture do you have in mind? How do you see yourself going forward? How do you see your home in the next day, 2 days, 3 days, 6 months, 10 months, a year from now? Because you have to create a picture in order for you to go forward. We know what the picture is right now in your space. And this is one of the things that I say to people. I want you to go around your home, each and every room, and I want you to take a picture of your space. And once you've taken a picture of your space, I want you to print it. I want you to upload it to your computer. And I want you to sit back and look at each picture. Because each picture of your space is going to tell a story. And you get this opportunity to reflect on each picture because something in that picture is going to draw your attention and it is going to tell you something about you. And it is going to be the guide that's going to allow you to make the change in your life. And you go, what am I talking about? They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Indeed, it is. A picture tells a story. We may not come to the right conclusion at the end of it, but a picture tells a story about you, your space, about your surroundings. It can tell you about the energy of your space. It can tell if you're enjoying it or not. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So I say you need to take pictures of your space. Because when we go in as organizers, most times I don't take pictures. But because I come into your space to work, I look at the stuff and I can tell what I need to change and what I don't need to change. But people always like to see before and after pictures. I think people like to look at other people's clutter. I know that. And so it's good to take pictures because then you can show the client, this is where you were at and this is where you are now. And you can see the difference in the space. And once you have pictures to look back, pictures can tell a lot about you and what you've been going through. And so by taking these pictures, I say it becomes the guide to you getting organized. Because you can look at those pictures and say, you know what? I don't need this, this. But I would like to keep this. And by looking at the picture, that's what the picture is actually going to do for you. So as I say, you realize that you're the problem. You've been contributing to the clutter. Now it's time to take the pictures. Your pictures are going to tell a story about you and your life and what you've been going through over the last 6 months, 6 years, however long you've been living with your clutter. Now that you've done your pictures, I want you to look at them and identify what you need to keep. And you go, why? I know when you look at your room or you walk into your room and if it's very cluttered, it becomes overwhelming. It's daunting. And then you cannot see. It's like you've become blinded. So your pictures are going to be your guide. So on each picture, I want you to put it on a sheet of paper and I want you to outline some of the things, write and make a list of the things that you want to keep and the things that you want to get rid of. And that is going to be your first lesson. Your pictures are a storybook to your space and your life. It will tell you a lot of things about you, how you've been spending your time, how you've been spending your money, what you have neglected to do, and the things you have done. So today, when you walk into your space, I don't want you to take a mental picture that has been going around with you each and every day and it's been driving you crazy. So I want you to take it from here and I want you to put it down on paper where you can see it, you can read it, you can analyze it, and you can make a decision. Written words are very powerful. I want you to talk about or write down how your space make you feel, whether it be positive or it be negative, because you can't have one without the other. So it's important that you write that down because these are the steps that you will need to take in order for you to remove the clutter in your home and restyle and reorganize your space. It is very important. So, do you have any questions? If you do have questions, you can email me at info@maxineTheMaximizer.com or you can call me at 416-590-1008. I am hoping to use this medium to talk to many of you out there who want to get organized, who really want to maximize your life. I know what clutter can be like. I know how it prevents us from living our best life. I know the relationships it can create, and most times it is not good. I want you to get organized so you can have a relationship with your space. You can have a relationship with you. You can have a relationship with your spouse. You can have a relationship with your friends. You can have a relationship with your children. So that when you open your door every day when you return from work, you can feel good about your space. But most of all, you can feel good about you because you know that when you walk into your space, it is your space and it makes you feel good. You know, the song says, I feel good, good, good. I feel real wonderful good every time I talk about or think about Jesus. I feel good, good, good. And that's what I want. I want when you walk into your space and you see it, you can feel good about your space. I can tell you this. Whenever I leave and I re-enter my space, I feel good about it. Sometimes I will leave stuff out of space, out of order. But everything in my home has a space. I will tell you, I'm not always perfect. But once you get organized, it changes everything. Because if you go to work and you come home and you take off your shoes, you've created a space for your shoes. You've created a space to put your keys. You've created a space to put your handbags. You've created a space to put your mittens. And if you live in a city of Toronto, it is important because it's winter. So you need to create a space for everything within your home. And most of all, you need to create a space in your home for you that you can enjoy. Let's face it, whether you pay rent or you have a mortgage, you are paying for that space. So why do you pay for clutter to live within your space and make you miserable? Why do you make your clutter make you feel uncomfortable coming into your own home? What is wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that story? I have clutter. My clutter is stopping me from living my best life. So I remember when I did this card, and I'm going to just put it up, and it says, get it to the camera, and it says, I have a big problem. My clutter is everywhere. And it says, I want to get excited about my life, but I have clutter. I want to get excited about my home, but I have clutter. I wanted my clutter to go away yesterday, but it is still here today, and it's all too much. I feel overwhelmed, overworked, and overweight. Yes, that's what clutter do. It makes you feel overwhelmed, overworked, and overweight. So let's talk about some of the things that clutter does to you. We talk about your physical space. Whenever I go out there and I meet people and they say, oh my gosh, you should see my basement. You should see my garage. You should see my bedroom. So I met a lady a few weeks ago and she said, it's in our bedroom. And I said, tell me about your bedroom. And she says, well, we do the laundry and it comes and it sits there and it's all over the place. This is your bedroom. It is special. It's a special space where you share it with your spouse. And when you get into your bed and you pull those covers up and you look around your room, that's not a good thing to go to bed to or with. Then it changes the relationship in your bedroom. And that is something we'll talk about another day. Clutter and your relationship. So when you hop into your bed and you look around, you shouldn't be looking around, but you're going to look around because it's going to be the last thing you see before you close your eyes and go off to sleep. And it is going to be the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning, because it's not going to miraculously leave your space. It's going to be there when you wake up in the morning. So why not put it away? Your bedroom is a special space. You spend 8 hours there. It must be luxurious. It must be comfortable. It must be inviting. It is a space that you want to spend with your spouse, so that when you wake up in the morning, you say, it was good to be here. So today is the day When I want you to think about you and your clutter, the impact it is having on your lifestyle, and how it is affecting each and every person that lives within your home. But most of all, how it is affecting you and what is your contribution to all of this. So, if you want to get organized and you want to be organized and you want to remove the clutter or unleash and release the clutter within your space, and you simply don't know where to start or what to do, and you need guidance, call Maxine the Maximizer. I'll be happy to speak with you. I'll be happy to work with you to get you through the process of getting your home and your life organized. I know how important this is. It is important to me and it is important to you. And I want you to maximize your life. I want you to live your life to the max. I will tell you something. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. And like you, I have procrastinated. I've been wanting to go online and I've been wanting to talk to people for a very long time. I wanted to share my story. I wanted to help people. It has taken me this long. So I hope when you watch this video, you will share it with your friends. And I'm hoping to come online each and every day and talk about what is cluttering your life and what are you going to do about it and what you need to do about it. And I hope you will join me, join Clutter Talk, subscribe to Maxine the Maximizer. And if you want me to come and speak to your group, a group of girlfriends, if you want someone to speak at your workplace and talk about getting organized, I'll be happy. Just give me a call at 416-590-1008 or simply email me at info@MaxineTheMaximizer. There's lots to talk about getting organized, being organized, and staying organized. But the fact is, if you have clutter, you must recognize what is cluttering your life, and you must make a decision about what you're going to do about it. It is not going to be an easy step. It is a process. There's a beginning and there's an ending. But before you can get to the end, you have to find out where you're at and then work your way through that process. The middle part is the toughest part of it, the process. But once you put the sweat, what I call it, sweat equity in it, you will be amazed at the result. Many times people will say to me, why didn't I do this before? They say nothing is done before the time. You have to get to a point in your life where you are ready to make the change. And nobody knows that more than I do. So whenever you're ready to make the change about getting organized and you feel stuck and you don't know where to start or what to do, don't be afraid. Call Maxine the Maximizer. I will listen to you and I will walk you through the process. And if I have to come in and work with you, I will. So don't be afraid. Yes, I know it is overwhelming. It is challenging. But you must find the power within you to do it. And if you lack that, call Maxine the Maximizer. You need a motivator to get organized? Call Maxine the Maximizer. You need a facilitator to get you organized? Call Maxine the Maximizer. If you want to share your story, call Maxine the Maximizer. because I'm all about helping you to maximize your life. 416-590-1008, or you can email me at info@maximethemaximizer.com. It is time to maximize your life. And as I always say, what is cluttering your life? And what are you going to do about it? Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you. If you like this video and you want to know more about getting your life organized in 21 days, call me. I can help you to get your life organized within 21 days. And we have more than 21 days left before the Christmas holiday. And together, we can get it done. Thank you, Maxine the Maximizer. And bye for now.